Welcome, everyone. This is Polypedals, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin.
Hi.
Sanswinda.
Hello.
Guerendis.
Hello, everyone.
And Calabathian.
Guess who's back?
She's back. Welcome, everyone. You're all back just in time for us to discuss the first Brawler drop for the next update. And that is going to be the one that will hopefully include, well, we'll see, the Brawler and the LI updates. And there's quite a bit to talk about, I guess, on each of those. So let us split this up. We'll begin with Brawler Update 30.3 Early Beta 1. We had the first item in here is the Brawler. The Brawler is a melee class conceptually based on the legend of Helm Hammerhand, who fought bare-handed in one of the greatest sieges of Helm's Deep.
No, it's not Helm. I swear that they say it's Helm, but it's. I honestly really think that it's Jajax.
They don't require you to drink before you fight. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to do that. You're throwing it away. You're not keeping it and drinking it.
Some of those skills, we are brawling. It could very easily be because we are drunk. And really, haven't you ever heard of Drunken Master Style?
Yes, there is a lieutenant in skirmishes that practices that style.
A dwarf, I believe.
Yes, a dwarf. Yes. The Dowerhand Keg Master on that. But anyway, Brawlers forego weapons in favor of battle gauntlets and steel armor, hurling themselves into battle to the benefit of friends and devastation of foes. The main focus of Brawlers is damage per second, off-tanking, and support. Any race in Middle-earth can be a Brawler, except, of course, for the Bjornings, who have their own race and class combination.
They're already OP furballs. They don't need to brawl. They already brawl, sort of. I mean,
in their form, they brawl already.
Yeah, I was going to say, you take away my two-handed axe, or you just wait and see what the Bjorning does next.
Metal is
admittedly, the Bjornings don't need to drink to brawl.
No, they just turn into a giant bear.
Rawr.
Metal is the currency for Brawler that Brawler uses for attacks and other skills. Metal is built during combat and spent when you use Brawler's most powerful abilities. All Brawlers have the passive ability called Combat Flow, which increases the damage done to your skills for each point of metals that you have. Okay. I didn't realize that passive ability was called Combat Flow. I just see the tooltip saying, all right, you've got this little bonus on you, and it's
tiny bit OP right now because it doesn't go away.
Oh, yeah, you mean metal?
Yeah,
metal does not decay at all.
It doesn't decay like when you're running around not fighting things, which I really think it should.
So, yeah, I would have to agree, but also I think they need to add something in there about combat hustle, because there's the hustle and flow.
Right. Seriously, though, how much do we love the Brawler?
It was awesome.
Had some fun with that.
I don't mind that I think there should be a way, though, that you can run around on Brawler without losing metal. Like something you can toggle. Like the precision stance for hunters. Like, that would be pretty cool.
No, well, you don't. It doesn't decay at all right now, so you don't lose metal.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like,
unless you use your skills.
If they changed that, it would be cool if they left a way to not change it, too.
She wants both ways.
It's awesome.
Right.
I like some of the animations that they've got so far.
The animations are so great.
Especially when you're playing a hobbit.
Oh, boy.
I might have been guilty of telling Pineleaf goodnight and then beating up a dummy, one of the training dummies, just to look at all the animations again. It was awesome.
I have a feeling that there are going to be one or several Girls of Middle-earth streams with the Brawler in the future.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And we all need to be hobbit brawlers. All of us.
I mean, it's the closest I can get to fulfilling my dreams of a Hobbit champion.
It's true.
That's certainly the case.
Where is the lie?
Right.
We no longer have to be this tall to champion.
Gauntlet.
Punch you in the face.
This tall to brawl. That's what we've got.
Tall to brawl.
Poor Pineleaf is still trying to make it through like the second bullet point.
Yes. Gauntlets. Instead of the traditional weapons of combat, your brawler wields battle gauntlets and defeats enemies with punches, slams, kicks, thrown items, and more. Only brawlers can wear battle gauntlets in combat, and these items will appear throughout the game as you level. Though that last little sentence is not yet implemented. But I believe that the developers were saying that over the last few days they have been implementing those as quest rewards and the like. So they are starting to sprinkle them in. They just haven't hit Brawler yet.
Yeah, Vastin was talking about it yesterday, actually.
Yeah. And gauntlets are considered to be two-handed weapons because you got
because
one
of course, yes.
That's very disappointing to me, though, because that means we're not going to be able to equip pretzels.
A brawler with a pretzel.
Oh, that would be epic. Maybe they'll make a two-handed pretzel for us.
The other problem is you won't actually be able to cosmetically equip any held items because any of the two-handed cosmetic thingies aren't going to work either because those only skin over certain two-handed things. I was thinking about that actually. So basically brawlers are going to fall into the same category as runekeepers because runekeepers can't cosmetically hold stuff either.
Although I will say
wardens have the same problem.
I was going to say, did anybody catch Bloodborne's stream? Because he discovered that there are all kinds of cosmetics available for different styles of gauntlets.
No.
Also, did you notice that really cool outfit on the screen is like your starter outfit?
Yes.
Like, all the other classes are going to be so jealous.
Maybe not the burglar, because the burglar starter outfit is actually pretty cool too.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, I was about to say that battle gauntlets, if since they're redoing legendary items, I know that we don't have LIs for the brawler yet, of course. But they're probably going to be some kind of gauntlet.
Oh, they do have them in the new system.
Oh, they do?
New system, yeah, they had the new system allies for the brawler because
I didn't know if they had gotten around to LIs for brawlers yet, simply because they're still testing the LI system, and it's like, hey, let's throw something new into the LI system on top of revamping absolutely everything. So if we have to change it, then we'll have to go change it, the rest.
Those will be easier to add than trying to get everybody to parity with the old ones.
Anyway, we'll be getting to that in a little bit later. But in any case,
you notice, by the way, that sigh that you just heard that came from
I'm sure we'll get to there.
That's why I said we'll get to that. That's going to open up an entirely new kind of work. But anyway, that's why right now now, this may change for the next build, but in the first build, for example, it would be impossible for a brawler to go through the quest line in order to enter Moria. You'd have to grant the deed through the Isengard instead, because all the old quests are still giving out old style allies. The Brawler doesn't have an old style ally; they only have new style allies. So obviously,
let's give Brawlers old style allies before we change over. And it
no, they're not doing that.
And lo, there was a great uprising.
But anyway, so they'll be using battle gauntlets, which essentially are basically weighted boxing gloves, pretty much.
They're cool.
Yeah. And also, as for traits, Brawlers have 2 trait trees that they can specialize in, along with a 3rd general tree to provide additional flexibility and benefits. The Fulcrum is the blue line, which focuses on defense and debuffs and offers ways to increase vitality, lower your enemy's attack speed, and buff your critical rating and more. I think it includes everything except a heal, I think. And the Maelstrom Red. The Maelstrom focuses on the chaos of battle and increases damage dealt and more. The offensive focus trait tree increases your critical chances, setup skill damage, might, and acquisition of metal. As if it wasn't easy enough to get metal as it was. And the fundament. Okay. And the fundament, which is the yellow line, the fundament is not a trait tree that can be specialized into. Rather, this tree offers benefits.
On right now.
Yeah. Lately. Well, actually, I thought they fixed that on Thursday.
Fix that on Thursday? I didn't get on Thursday,
yeah.
So they might have fixed that on Thursday. That was false earlier in the week.
Yeah, that was false earlier in the week. It was the intent was for the long-range intent, but rather the tree offers benefits that complements both the Fulcrum and the Maelstrom. Specializing points into the fundament offers benefits that will increase metal generation, enemy debuffs, and hitting more targets with your area of effect skills.
So are they going to add healer type things in any of these or in the fundament, or are they already there, but, nobody
Not
can actually get...
Right now, there is absolutely nothing that I could find that was healing, or if it is, it's so subtle that it's definitely not.
Wait, so they don't have like an oh crap heal?
No,
I could not find one.
That could be a problem.
Which begs the question of how a solo player would manage to quest. I mean, baby champions can be a bit of a problem, but they're pretty resilient.
Well,
so maybe the Brawler will be too.
A problem, but that's because you don't have your skill to remove things like wounds. Hopefully, Brawlers won't have that problem. Hopefully, the Brawler problem will just be not being able to heal. But a baby champion can heal themselves because they get bracing blow fairly early, don't they?
Yeah. Bracing attack.
The bracing attack.
Right now, what I'm thinking
I
of
usually use to heal my champion through the lower levels.
Yeah, and you get fight on fairly early too.
Right now, my planned strategy on the whole thing is to summon an herbalist.
Landscape soldier tokens.
You have to make it to level 20 first, though, Pineleaf?
Well, yeah, you have to get to level 20 first.
I do know that
that doesn't work for the instances where you actually really need those things.
Yeah, there is that little detail.
Food. Make friends with a cook.
Oh, yes, that's right. Cook.
Or be one.
Very definitely be one.
But no, I decided to boost my Brawler up to 130 just to see what it would, like, the end result would be.
Yeah.
And I was noticing that, they have, like, remove corruption, and they have some area of effect type things that, you can do. But, yeah, no healing, and it's like the debuffs and the buffs and everything really, and I'm like, are they going to offset it by just having the Brawlers be, like, especially, like, tough? to, that it doesn't take like as much damage or, to offset it? Or
it would be funny if they had to get drunk to stay. I don't feel a thing.
Well, I think
eyes would not appreciate that.
I think the mentality on the Brawler so far, it looks like, is to kill it before it can do anything. I think I only really had trouble when there were pew-pews in the area.
Well, and that's really a problem because pew-pews have a tendency to put bleeds on you.
Yeah.
And to be everywhere.
Oh, you do have the ability to remove, the usual ability that every character class has to get rid of things like bleeds and stuff like that. So
you can only get rid of one at a time.
Yeah.
Which, without being able to heal yourself, is a little bit low.
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem.
On the other hand, they haven't even finished naming or doing stuff on the skills, so they could have. They may add one.
Yeah, there are tweaks. This is the first public draft,
and it looks awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
So there will probably be some tweaks along the way because they've been getting feedback, I'm sure, on the Brawler as well as on other things that we'll get into later.
Champions, yes.
Oh, yes, and the champions, of course, were. What is the complaint about the champions on this, Terry?
It has to do with the LIs. They were trying to swap over current legacies into the new system, and they took out the crit magnitude bonus, which is like it's basically a giant nerf for champions. Huge nerf for champions.
All right, then we'll get to that with the LI updates then. I thought that some people were complaining that the Brawler made the champion obsolete or something.
No, they just do more DPS.
They just need more DPS. Okay.
No, the Brawler does more DPS. Also, their champion animations are still a little off. And the Brawler ones are not slowed down at all, so it's a very, very fast class.
Well, you would have to be if you are unarmed and your opponents have weapons in their hands.
I just cannot wait for a Hobbit Brawler to be up against something like, we have like a raid going and we're in the middle of the raid, for like Dragok or something. Okay, sorry. Just the vision of these little guys just pummeling Dragok's face.
Seeing a Hobbit guard grab Dragok's attention is amusing enough.
Yeah, I just really need to be able to take my little Hobbit Brawler and go punch giants in the face because I didn't actually get around to doing that on Brawler, and it's definitely a thing that needs to happen just because I didn't get a chance to really see size differential, how that's going to work.
Yeah.
It's not their face that they're going to be punching.
I don't know. You could leap up off the ground. I mean, I didn't use all of the skills either because I was really tired. I only made it to like level 50 so I could get all the skills. But I was reading the tooltips, and like one of them is you can potentially knock them back slightly, and then it repeats it slightly, which is great.
All right. And here's a note on one of the known issues is the yellow trait line battle-wise will spawn fireworks whenever a bonus point of metal is generated. Hooray!
Ooh, that's cool.
That needs to stay. That needs to stay.
I could just imagine people saying, "Oh, please don't fix it." All right, anything else to say about the Brawler before we head to the more controversial topic?
I did notice some of the bugs and stuff, like for my Hobbit Brawler in the intro as you're first coming out. There were a couple of bugs when you would try to trigger that third skill that they list. It would give you like an error reading that it wasn't ready, and it's like, yes, it is. But it's early days. I'm not real worried about it. But yeah. I would figure, there's a bunch of stuff that they've probably heard about.
Yeah, I'm sure they heard about the real fun issue that on Thursday, after Thursday's patch, where the equipment was not showing up on any men.
That explains why there were people in their undergarments on Cordovan's stream.
Yeah, any men on so all the men on the server were in their undergarments.
I see we're social distancing and doing raiding from home. Okay, everybody's in their underwear.
So that was a
it's not that big a deal in LOTRO because you have tasteful undergarments. It's not like you're running around naked.
Fortunately, because then they would have had to bring down servers immediately.
Lingerie, it's Galadriel's secret.
All right, let's head into our legendary items then, which is the new weapons class items of Legend are available for barter at the legendary weapons class items vendor. All they implemented so far was to add them into the Isengard Tavern, where they had vendors that allowed you to get your item, and they also have the library books in there. Apparently, those library books that they have in the Isengard, those actually are going to be in a library room in Rivendell.
Who would have thought?
Yes, I know.
It's Rivendell. Who would have thought?
But that there'd be a library in Rivendell?
Everything's in Rivendell.
Yeah. I guess they decided, I suspect they're not going to put it into Elrond's library. If they put it into Elrond's library, then he'd be constantly disturbed as people come in and out.
He's disturbed. Never mind. I was going to say he's disturbed anyway, but, he's the minister of civil laws.
You would be too if your wife was wounded and went to the Undying Lands before you.
And also if you had those twins.
And then a steady stream of people jump off your balcony onto your table every day to talk to you.
It's another Hobbit without safe fall. Actually, it's a Hobbit with safe fall. I just forgot it. Sure, Glomber. Sure, Heisha. Sure. Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah. But anyway, they allowed you in there to go and test the items. It wasn't you weren't able to get them in game or anyway because all they implemented were the items themselves and the vendors within the Isengard. And they will, of course, later add all the quest rewards.
I was kind of hoping to actually kind of
he's working on it.
Try allies since I've had so much trouble with allies right now. But, I did a cross-country move and I only just got back online earlier this week. So, I haven't had a whole lot of time for that sort of thing.
I did a little bit of playing with them, but I was mostly just confused because what I thought I knew from the interface didn't appear to actually be true. And so I decided I would wait before I do anything more with them and/or get upset about that.
I watched Cordovan's stream yesterday, which talked pretty much all about allies, and he had Bastion on to talk about allies. And basically what I learned about the new ally system is thanks SSG, we hate it.
Yeah.
Okay, but say more. Tell me more about this. Okay, I missed the stream.
Okay, so
here we go.
The new allies have these socket thingies, so they're closer to how essences work, and except instead of with essences where you can't overwrite the essence, you have to actually empty the socket to put new essence in. This you'll just be able to overwrite what's in there, and then a reforge will bring your level up, but it doesn't do anything for the various. They're calling them traceries, which is a word that everybody hates. Well, not everybody, but apparently a lot of people hate it, and I'm on that train. I think it's dumb. I think it's a stupid idea. Why can't we just continue to call them legacies? Well, there's nothing wrong with calling them legacies, and it's going to ease people who are even a little bit familiar with the system into system. But and so basically the goal is to make it less complicated and weighty for people who haven't done a whole lot with LIs. And so far, there's not really for those of us who have maxed LIs to make them easy to get up to.
So, how good this is going to depend on the actual traits of the traceries and whether or not we can have comparable ones to what we currently have, and how easy it is to actually level up the traceries, because if that's going to take half a year per LI, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to... Well, some of them are supposed to drop, and then some of them you can barter for, and they didn't really talk about how you were going to be able to get the currency. But I'm sure it's going to be a really crappy grind. So, okay, kind of how it is now. Everything is bind to account, so that's fun.
You can't help people.
But
well,
mostly...
Why would you want to help anybody in an MMO? I mean, that's basically a single-player game, right?
Yeah. And I mean, really, it's just...
See, as winter brings the salt.
High blood pressure medicine.
I don't understand why they can't figure out how to... First of all, they're nerfing a bunch of the legacies, because anything that gives a substantial, plus 100% boost to anything is just gone. They got rid of crit magnitude for champions, so champions are taking a serious hit. It's just a whole lot of, I really hate it. The more they talked about it, the more I hated it.
So we're going to really hope that they make it much nicer before it goes live.
And apparently they didn't realize that traceries might, the calling them traceries might be a problem. And we're very surprised by the backlash that came out on the forums about calling them traceries. Which it's kind of funny, because I wasn't remotely surprised by that backlash. I mean, there's no reason to make it a different term. I mean, if you're going from one system to another system, at least calling them the same thing is going to help those of us who do know even the slightest thing about legendary items feel a little better.
But it might actually hurt, because if you're a new player and you're Googling legacies for your LIs and you come across a really old guide that never got updated, you're going to be even more confused if the new things are also legacies.
That's true. I just think traceries is the wrong thing to call them. It really kind of doesn't make any sense.
What would you call it if not traceries?
I don't know. I mean, I traits? Weapon traits? Weapons? I don't know.
Power-ups? I don't know. What do you call it? Legendary essences for LIs?
Now is the time to say, I think it would be better if it was this name, and give them that suggestion, because I'm sure they're still open to it.
Well, apparently, traceries has been pretty integrated into the system as it is so far, which Vastin said the UI is going to get some work, and they may actually try to make it look closer to the current UI, but they can't use the current UI because there's all kinds of problems with the current UI, which are tied up with all of the problems with the LI system to begin with. So that's fun. But mostly my biggest problem is, if anybody's done any work whatsoever on the LI, whether you don't even have to have it maxed. If you've done any work whatsoever, other than just carry the thing around, and not dump anything into it, you're basically going to be screwed, because the new stuff coming out is going to be better, and there's they haven't figured out yet how to make it equitable to go from one weapon to new weapon. And from what I understand, the plan is not there for it to launch with any kind of plan for how to make old weapon into new weapon.
I think they have a plan. They just aren't ready to announce it.
No, the words that actually came out of Dev's mouth is that have sort of a plan, probably will happen after the weapons go live. So new weapons are going to be going live without any actual implementation on how to make your old weapon into a new weapon comparable, without a lot of headaches, which is going to piss a bunch of people off.
So it sounded like their fix for that was to not up any difficulty on the landscape or anything, so our current allies will be just as effective as they were.
Yeah, and basically they have some mechanic to lock it into place so that you can basically lock your current weapon into place. So, but that they didn't explain how that would benefit at all. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, what I want to know, though, is if I'm carrying around an extra weapons or set of weapons for my runekeepers, how I'm going to manage that with my bag space. Because my runekeeper is going to go from 6 weapons to 12?
Yeah, and here's the other thing. So you know how the legacy things, when you deconstruct and you can pick a legacy, it becomes an item? That's still true for the tracery thing, except there's going to be more of them, and I don't think they're stacking. I didn't really get a look at it.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know, it just... There's still a lot of work that needs to be done for anybody to be even remotely comfortable with this idea. But the devs are all for it. Despite the fact that there were a couple of times where Vastin was like, yeah, I don't know. Which, you don't really want your dev on stream, dev who's in charge of project on stream going, yeah, I don't know.
Well, maybe that's better, though, than making up an answer and being wrong. I would like them to be trying to find out. That would be good. But not knowing isn't really a fault. This is why it goes on Bull Roar, right? So that they can find some holes and they can start fixing it.
Yeah. Now let's see if they could fix it within a month.
Yeah, well, as of now, it's thanks SSG, we hate it.
All right. So that's the quick look at legendary items in there, and I'm not going to discuss too much about that since there's so much that's subject to change. I think we'll discuss it more when we see the next iteration of it. Since apparently there was a lot more not nice feedback on the legendary items stuff than there was on the Brawler stuff. Biggest thing I've heard on the Brawler stuff is, what's the lure for this?
You get to throw planks and mugs at people?
Hello.
I mean, I love the thrown weapon thing. It's great.
Yeah.
The fact that the icon is a mug made me giggle.
Yes.
I mean, I can't wait to get one and get to the point of getting to Mirkwood so I can throw things at Mazog.
Yeah. And if you want to know, is the class item is a mug.
Yes.
That is great.
Your LI weapon is a mug.
It doesn't even need to be a class item. It should be your ranged. Your ranged weapon is a mug.
Well, unfortunately, they're currently listed as a class item instead of a ranged weapon.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's a ranged weapon like Bergs have a ranged weapon, which is a throw dagger skull. But it's still fun.
But
throwing daggers as a Berg.
The burglars get the signals to put in their ranged weapon slot. So that's what should go in the Brawler slot, is a mug.
Well,
also, if you are a Hobbit Brawler, you also can get, you stoop to get a stone. So not only are you throwing mugs, you're throwing stones. This is great.
Well, anyway, that's the first look at the Brawler. Now, in conjunction with this, I did make a quick video taking a look at the first few levels of the Brawler, and I posted that on YouTube.
I saw part of it.
Yes.
I watched up until combat, and then I can't watch Pine Leaf in combat.
Okay. This is the first time I ever did combat using using number keys instead of clicking, and she doesn't even bother watching.
I thought he was fixing to say that this is the first time that he had done combat throwing mugs, and I was about to go, me too, twinsies.
Anyway, let's go into the LOTRO beacon. This is LOTRO beacon number 219, where we have, first of all, the community spotlight. This week, our first early access preview on Brawler for the Brawler and legendary items, and there are quite a few streamers, bloggers, and other content creators who were there. And you can check out the previews over on the internet, which includes Louis7, Sky Manic, in German, Bloodborne, Queen, Parwithin, Kyle's JOL in French, Keep Smiling in German, Stine, LPN, Eldalet, Strimtom, Endangfire, Ginkin, okay, Lady Faloran, okay, Thalaruth in German, and Druid's Fire.
Okay, so I kind of thought that Keep Smiling was actually Keep Smelling, and I was confused for just a second. This has been happening a lot lately. I need new glasses. I'm just saying. Some of them have been particularly hilarious. Yeah. Anyway, continue.
And Elle Godwin brings the cosplay. Check out her Martial outfit from PAX West on Twitter.
Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Martial.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Great Willow Blues Band plays songs from Tool this weekend. Oh, actually, I guess that's already passed. And Radagast Pipes presents Kaleidoscope of Autumn Moon on Saturday, September 18th. So that'll be next week. And you read more about that concert on Landful over at LOTRO Artists. And The Hope will present music from Harad on September 19th on Landrival, and you read more about that over on LOTRO Artists. And the Green-Eyed Gamer will be touring the homes of Noodly and Chromite they did on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, so maybe that was broadcasted on Twitch, so maybe you could go there and look at the VOD for that. So let's go into the weekly comment. Do you name your legendary items, and what do you call them?
Absolutely, and it depends on the class.
It depends on the class and the character. Yes, I definitely name my legendary items.
My legendary item for Celeborn, his bow, is this pew pew must not die.
I mean, Gware has a first stage bow named Pointed Statement, and then she also has a sword that is Cutting Remark.
Terry's sword is named Mercy. And Sarissa's legendary dagger is Stabbity.
Now, I used to call my javelins the needle. I figured that was a nice, appropriate name. Then, of course, they banned the word needle in names for legendary items, so I could no longer use it. Sans, did you have any opinions?
I'm trying to remember the actual name of Sansa's weapon. I really like it. I think it's something like Pew Pew Aplenty. I'm not the one who named it, though. But I really like it.
Oh, I talk about the name that you get when you reforge, not the one put on by the creator, if it's crafted.
Oh, no, I put the same one on that the creator put on because it was awesome.
Ah, okay.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, my other ones usually are things like Kaboom for my Runekeepers, or
I named a Theurbo El Kabong once for a Hobbit minstrel.
that's awesome.
I need a weapon named Kindness. So I can kill him with kindness.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay, I'm
apparently
totally stealing that idea.
yes. Mary Rose Morning Song. She names her mace Macy's Parade, and the songbook is La 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 La.
I think I have a lore master whose staff is named a big stick.
But does he walk softly?
And then the book is wildlife notes.
Wildlife notes. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Then let's head over to the fan site news, where last week we got a bit squirrely. And the Beneath Your Feet podcast delves into the Anton Moors. You could hear the latest show on their anchor.fm page. Mr. Hobbit's Misadventures asks if a hobbit can be a brawler. And you
Yes.
read more about that abroad. Apparently the answer to that is yes.
It is
Bio-
highly recommended.
Yes. BioBreak looks at the current map of Middle-earth and LOTRO, and you can see that over on their blog. LOTRO Stream is your first stop for LOTRO on Twitch. This week, B4 works on the Deadly Decoy plugin, Big Ed goes to Mordor, and Uger levels a bear.
Wait, does he level it up like a Bjorning, or is he leveling a bear like he fights a bear and like one-shots it? It just lays it out. Like he's
Well-
leveling a city, he levels a bear.
I assume they were talking about the
He's
former,
playing a
but-
Bjorning.
Okay, because I was like,
Playing
Sorry
an
to
open
disappoint.
ball.
dang.
And also on Twitch, Sigmund U continues its exploration of Rivendell. In Geekpipe levels up a lore master, and X Christie X quests and deeds. And also on YouTube, Ettenberg is a Middle-earth assassin.
Hey,
Carrick Avalon Gaming defends Trestle Bridge, and Adelaide Valathorn has secrets from the Second Age.
I happen to know a Middle-earth assassin too.
As
Not
for our
naming names,
as for our screenshot of the week, Roadwolf gets creative with housing deco, and this week's screenshot of the week is thank you for sending it in. Email your screenshot for consideration by sending it to LOTRO@SunnystoneGames.com. And is that statue being attacked by a Dalek or something?
No, I think he's sitting near a campfire that is a bit more his size.
Ah, okay.
It's actually a beacon bonfire type thing.
Beacons
It's
are
like-
lit. Gondor is sending for aid.
Well, isn't it like a memorial one?
Yeah, it looks like the pyres from the fields of Minas Tirith.
And he's warming his hand.
Not for cold night.
I mean, look, all those stars. It probably is chilly.
pre-dawn, I think.
Let's head over into the store sales. And Terry, what's on sale this week?
Actually, some good stuff, but it is the crafting weekend, so your bonus is crafting stuff for the weekend. It's also our final weekend for bonus points in the LOTRO store, and final weekend, I think, for Bomber's Bounty. Weekly coupon is a free landscape soldier token if you're not getting enough of them out of Hobbit presents, because I have more than I can use out of Hobbit presents. Coupon code is AHELPER, now through September 16th, and 30% off select war steeds and mounts, riding skills, war steed cosmetics, and movement speed buffs now through November 16th.
November?
September, sorry.
I'd say that's a long time.
Hey, look, it's been a long week for me, too.
Let's then head into the pick of the week. Terry, what's your pick?
Well, this afternoon in my email, there was a new post by Cosmetic LOTRO called Scout in Gondor, which is an elven-themed outfit, but it's really cool. I popped that open. I was like, oh, that's lovely. Unfortunately, it features 2 pieces of gear that I will probably never see because they involve tier 2 instances, which I will probably never do.
Oh, Dome of the Stars and Ruin City.
Dome of the Stars and Ruin City at tier 2. I knew a lot of that gear. A lot of Ascilius stuff is really pretty. So sad. They need to make this. This stuff has been in the game for a while now. They need to make it available for barter for those of us who aren't doing tier 2 instances.
Or maybe have a cosmetic version of it available for barter.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do the stupid flower picking, but I'll go back and pick flowers if I can get this stuff.
We can go pick flowers together.
No, we can't.
Picking flowers for cosmetics.
No, we can't.
It is a pain when you're in a
But you
fellowship.
can't do it as a group. That was just the whole reason I didn't do it, because I was in a group.
Yeah, we'd have to do it together, like in voice chat, but not in a group, because you can't just pick it up in a group.
Let's head into our week in gaming. And says, Window, what were you up to?
I made a new Brawler on Brawler, and it was fabulous. It was really amazing and awesome and wonderful. And it got a war steed at level 5, which is my favorite part about Brawler. Maybe the reason that I don't usually do the introduction on Brawler, because you can get a war steed at level 5. I wish Brawlers came with war steeds at level 5, but they're going to be super awesome anyway. And I did some...
Wait. If Brawlers got a war steed, would they be like, you don't get a choice in the matter, you get a heavy war steed because it's a Brawler too?
Because it needs to be able to stampede over.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe? That would be okay if I got it at level 5 with that skill. That would be pretty sweet.
Actually, you know what would be even cooler? If the Brawler didn't get a war steed, if the Brawler got a Mumak.
Yes! Oh! SSG. The Brawler's steed should be a Mumak at level 5. Or, I don't care what level. Actually, I will level up to whatever level to get this Mumak. You pick a level. That would be so awesome. Okay, but besides dreaming about mounts for my Brawler, I had a lot of fun with that. And am looking forward to seeing the next iteration of it, because that was a lot of fun. I also did some Runekeeper leveling on a new Runekeeper to take advantage of the XP weekend. And that was a lot of fun too. Though I learned that patience is not a virtue that my characters typically possess. And not just because I don't click the little thing to give it to them, but because staying in one place long enough to complete deeds is really I was about to come out of my skin.
The struggle is real.
And I wasn't even through Arid Luin, and I was like, but they're already sending me to Bree 3 levels ago. Now the quest to Bree is blue. I don't like this. Let's just go already. But I was being good, and so my new Runekeeper has virtues, but they are not patience. Maybe not. She's very virtuous so far, though. I'm impressed. My other Runekeeper that I got out was level 21 and had precisely 0 earned virtues. So this Runekeeper's doing much better so far. And I finished my gold farm in Minecraft, and it's producing gold. And I made it safer, and I felt like Santa Claus going down a chimney, coming back to the ground from my gold farm. So that was kind of fun. So, Kelbathian, how was your week?
Well, as I mentioned, I was moving across the country, and that sort of had me busy the last couple weeks, just saying, so I haven't really done a lot. And it's been mostly Star Wars this week. I have plans for a character named Chihuahua, I'll keep you posted. But also, you need to beware when you get into Star Wars on Belsavis for the rat-attacky crackheads. You know how I mentioned before that I wasn't seeing words quite right? There are some rat-attacky, I guess, I can't remember now what the word was, but I kept seeing it as crackhead. And that's not what it is.
Oh, it's crack shot.
Crack shot, that's what it was. Crack shot, rat-attacky crack shots. And I kept seeing it as crackheads, and what was even funnier is that the character that I was running with actually travels in the game and in the storyline with a rat-attacky who's kind of nuts and could be a crackhead. But I'm just saying, it's he yeah. So beware the rat-attacky crackheads. And then, of course, for LOTRO, I did get on Bull Roar this week to poke at the Brawler. I found it very excellent because this tiny little hobbit, I just least of which randomized for the name. I didn't really care about what she looked like because I knew that she would go away. But the name randomizer did not disappoint me yet again. The first time I randomized a name was with Gauntlets, and I came up with Gauntlets. So, I mean, randomizer has been known to give me lovely, lovely names. And it did so again this time. I hit randomize once, and up came Smogla. 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 So my brawler is Smogla the Hobbit. And I just really, really enjoyed running her around and punching things in the face because I'm always talking about how I like to punch things in the face when they make me mad. And now I actually have a LOTRO class. That's their thing. They punch things in the face. And I could not be more ecstatic because I think I'm going to enjoy playing Brawlers and punching things in the face constantly. Especially when they're hobbits. Yes. Leland is getting punched in the face. Okay, Guarinda, how was your week?
Well, I have been still running with my minstrel on Luinori Stout Shield's little brother, Nuinori, who is a champion, a dwarf champion. And we went to the circus in Hisuk, Daldinen, the big tent. I survived the circus in Hisuk, kinda, not really. It's been a while since he was in that area, and we get into the tent, and I go to the left, because, it's less crowded there. We start working our way around. There's one group, a little tough, not too bad. Next group, he forgot that if you don't clear all the other groups, they all pull with the boss, and he went on to the big guy. And
the gossant and the clowns in the circus tent.
Well, we needed the music. I did end up dying once. Fortunately, I could revive there. But I managed to get back and myself healed up enough, and he hadn't dropped enough that we actually did survive and end up clearing the rest of the tent, and then ran over to the shallow side and said, I think we're good here. Let's port back to Estelden. He was on a blue line champion. I was on a yellow line minstrel. This shouldn't have worked, especially since it's fellowship area. I mean, we're about level 35s, and the area's 30, but most of the mobs were still light blue, and the boss was a little more interesting. But yeah. Somehow I survived the circus in Hisuk. This afternoon I took my Hobbit Hunter to the Troll Shaws and finished deeding there. Short in the Troll Shaws, A Hobbit's Tale. I couldn't see what I was getting ready to hit half the time. I did manage not to fall over cliffs, and I'm so glad that is done. And then in ESO, my Stamplar is now over 800. So I guess that's a thing. Upward and onward, though. So, Periadmin, what did you get up to this week?
Not a lot. I made the tiniest Hobbit boxer ever on Brawler to check out the Brawler class, which was amazing because tiny Hobbit Brawlers are my new favorite thing in LOTRO, which is hilarious because I don't even really play Hobbits typically. I prefer to play the taller races, but there's just something about tiny ferocious Hobbit just tickles my funny bone. And then I was also playing with Calabathian, slogging through Belsavis on Star Wars so that we can pick up the final members of our crew, which, even though hers is a murder bot, is still better than the one that my bounty hunter will be getting, because I really hate that guy. And then I was kicking butt and taking no names in Civ 6. Okay, I did take names. Hammurabi and Jadwiga died very quickly because in both cases they kept letting their settlers get away from them, and so I was rescuing settlers from Barbarian and then using them to settle cities around their main city. Hammurabi actually ended up with 2 other cities, but he never put walls up, so he lasted like 2 turns. And then Jadwiga finally did put walls up, but she only had the single city, and she died in about 3 turns. Because at that point I had a bombard, and it took what walls she had out completely in one shot. It was glorious. So finally, how was your week?
I will start on my Honor Warden, who anguished this week in Dirt Thing as I went around there doing all that crazy stuff you have to do in Dirt Thing. I think I did every single quest that belongs in there, which is those quests can get very, very annoying. Going away all the way through there. I'd say this place is as bad as Mordor if it weren't for the fact that we were in a fortress in the middle of Mordor. Over in DDO, I finished most of the Salt Marsh quest. I have one more small quest to do before I would have that complete. And then over on the LPN Minecraft server, I built an Enderman farm. And I built it in a way that was not quite to peak efficiency because I felt that making the peak efficient version of it would be a little bit too dangerous on my play style and all that stuff. But despite the fact that I am nowhere near the peak efficiency for this, the thing seems to be producing a great deal of XP and ender pearls and more ender pearls. So yes, I think that farm is working out very, very well. And that is it for our week in gaming. Over in News Beyond LOTRO, we have upcoming from Warner Brothers a 31-disc full collection of their Middle-earth movies for The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings.
So this is the 4K HD and Blu-ray set.
Yes.
Which I totally cannot justify getting, but I'm just kind of a little bit curious because from what I've read, they have like whole new extras. Great, but they don't seem to have the old extras on it, which were also really good. And yeah.
Okay, so they have new extras, but not the old extras. Okay. And it includes a 64-page booklet featuring costumes, photography, and production notes from the film, and art cards featuring travel posters and images from iconic locations throughout Middle-earth, including the Shire, Lake Town, Erebor, Anduin, Rohan, Minas Tirith, and Rivendell. But wait! There's more! The original Cannes Film Festival presentation reel and footage from the recent Alamo Drafthouse cast reunion that reunites director Peter Jackson and the stars Sean Astin, Kate Blanchett, Orlando Bloom, Billy Boyd, Ian McKellen, Dameka Monaghan, Viggo Mortensen, Andy Serkis, Liv Tyler, and Elijah Woods.
Hold up. Wait a minute. You are a Lord of the Rings fan, and you can't say these actors' names. I'm
Lord of the Rings, not necessarily the movies.
Yeah.
And this will come for the nice low price of $249.99. It'll go on sale on October 26th.
It's a nice low price of too rich for my blood.
For $250, yeah, that's a lot of money. Plus, I'm sure usual things, taxes, and all that fun stuff.
Of course.
Of course. Our top supporter this month is LOTRObuild.com. LOTRObuild.com is a collection of full LOTRO databases, which includes an items database, a relics database, and a titles database. Also, you can use it right from your Discord server with LOTRObuild bot. If you would like to join this illustrious array of players and help support LOTRO players, you can go to the donations page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money would be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. We did not receive any emails this week. If you want to send us one, you can send it to podcast@LOTROplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter. It's Players Alliance @Players Alliance, and LOTRO Players @LOTRO Arendis @Arendis, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, Senswinda @Senswinda, Terry Edwin @Terry Edwin, Guarendis @Guarendis, Calabathian @Calabathian. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on 7 p.m. on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have LOTRO Players News. You can join us for our shows at LOTROplayers.com/live. And note that LOTRO Players News podcast can now be found on Amazon Music and Audible. And that is all for tonight. And this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.